Hello. I wanted to take a few minutes to give you folks my first impressions as well as maybe some advice that I have for new owners before they go out on their first ride. I'd never used DVO suspension before, so it was all new for me, coming from Fox Factory DHX2 coil on my previous bike, and then also Fox 36 with Grip 2. I set this bike up with 60 psi air pressure on the Onyx SC, and that seemed to give me a little more than 15% sag, but I don't generally pay attention to sag numbers. It was the feeling of how easy it was to get through the travel that made me a little bit skeptical of that. However, I was recommended to add air pressure, but I forgot before first ride and did not bring a shock pump with me. So I just kind of took it easy. Went out to Laguna, baptism by fire on trails that I really enjoy. Conditions this time of year are perfect to really just, find out what the bike's capable of. And I did enjoy those, took it easy, just leaned back a little bit further on the steeper sections, which takes away a little bit of steering ability, but the bike didn't seem to suffer from it too much. Next day, I went out for a luge lap, and I did add 20 psi to the fork, so it's about 80. And then I also opened up the compression almost nearly all the way, and then increased the rebound a little bit, and then raised the stem 20 millimeters. And I was having a little bit of an issue getting behind the bike to get it up for manuals and wheelies, and that seemed to solve the reach issue. Feels much more comfortable, and then adding the rev grips on there. Doesn't fit the color coordination, but it feels at home for me. And as I was going down the luge, I was definitely, starting to feel what this bike was about, what it was capable of, weighting both of the wheels, both of the tires on the ground, feeling the balance, feeling the speed that was capable. It felt like you were just right in the center of the bike, and it was really easy to control and carry speed and get off the brakes and just do what you need to do. Just keep your eyes up, forward, and mobbing. So it did that really well. Hit a couple other segments really well, little jump line really well, felt really good about it. Took it up to Snow Summit yesterday. Hadn't made any changes from the luge loop. It felt great. Rode with a group that I always enjoy riding with, and quickly was up to speed on this bike and just loving every single trail that I hit with it. There wasn't an issue with it at all. The DVO suspension just felt bottomless, and that was one of the things that really impressed me. This air bladder keeps you from bottoming out, and it feels totally bottomless. I would send that hip as far as I possibly could, as deep as I possibly could, and it just never cared. Never felt like it was going to end. It felt supportive. The further in the stroke, like even with the cheaper, heavier steel spring, I know they have progressive springs. I know there's a bunch of other things that you can do. Just felt great. Every single trail we did. Ended the day with going green. Which honestly, I had a great time on that trail. I love that trail, compared to something like Turtle, Had a great time doing the enduro stuff, doing the downhill stuff, 10-ply, just had a great time. Did have a crash there last year, and did have my first little spill. Lost the front end and trying to take a race line, but didn't get injured or anything like that. It was just a quick little washout in the dust, little dirt bath. Really enjoyed that. Some things I do want to advise is I did notice down here you'll see some mastic tape, because I was seeing some chips in the paint finish here, and then also up in here from the chain. So I definitely recommend, even though it's an alloy frame, look at protecting it, because the paint does chip, and that's unfortunate. Other than that, this bike rips. Ready to put some serious miles on it. Get between the tape, race some downhill, race some enduro.